Butterflies. This is your girl, Sharon K. Griffin, aka Madam Butterfly. I hope that you had a wonderful week. To all the Texans, I pray that you're safe, that your energy is restored, that you have water. It may not be clean drinking water, but I hope you have water to shower with, and I hope that you are being provided water with. So today I have a great guest. But before I get into that, if you haven't bought your book, 134 Reasons You Can't Find a Man, this is it. This will help you get one. I promise you. And my lipstick, Society Hill. Yes. Rich bitch. Yes. Rich bitch luck. So I had to let you know that. But anyway, I have a very phenomenal guest today. And you never know what's going to be said on this show. So you have to stay tuned and stay here. Okay. His name is Carlton Giles, and he's a Black inventor. And you probably saying Black inventor. Well, a lot of things that you use are from Black inventors, right? So we just have another great story to share and just to dig deep to see what makes him think, what makes him thrive, what makes him grow, and what ticks him off. So let's welcome to the stage Mr. Carlton Giles. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful. So you didn't really want to come on the show because you're kind of shy, right?
Pretty much so, yeah. Yes.
Why?
Really have to have attention or be in a group or something like that. I'm good. I wouldn't say shy, but I don't really thrive on attention.
Okay, but it's your time to shine.
Okay.
All right. I mean, you have a product that's worth all these millions. I called you the $600 million man.
Right. I would agree. It's true. I guess, that time to shine, it's kind of relative. If I'm going to shine anyway, whether it's that or not. But it's always kind of awkward when people want to see who are you? So.
Okay, so tell my listening audience who you are.
Oh, gosh.
I have your bio, but I enjoy allowing people to say who they are, what they do.
Well, okay, I'm a dad. I have two daughters, and they are fabulous. But that's not what makes me who I am.
What makes you who you are?
I'm a Black man in America. That's what
Expound.
Expound high. So many ways that could go.
Okay, so the first thing that comes to your head, I think you're kind of getting me to the area where I'm gonna start doing some coaching, right? As opposed to interviewing.
Yeah, you should, because if you ask certain questions and people answer them, okay, but I'll tell you who I am.
Okay.
I'm a designer by profession. I started as a graphic designer at the University of South Carolina and just kept going from there. And just doing that, I found out that people wanted me to kind of push into other areas, marketing and all kind of things. And all my life, I've been a thinker. I just think about it and look at stuff and think about it and wonder why. So that's kind of who I am. I think about things with intent.
So you mentioned that you're a Black man in America. So what do you think about that?
Oh, what do I think?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I think
you threw it out there. I just caught it.
A Black man in America, we're the best thing that America has. But we're highly underrated. We're underrated. But it's cool. I like being a Black man in America. I really do.
I also say, and I put this on LinkedIn today, that if I had to trade being Black, I would never.
Right. I wouldn't.
Because I love who I am. I love my culture.
Right.
I love the diversity of the culture, even though it can be hard, and it is hard on a lot of people, especially the Black man in America. And I'm gonna say the Black mother, because when you take her son away, you take a part of her away.
Right.
So I can't say,
and
right, you taking away something that she birthed. But I still would never change who I am culturally.
Oh no, growing up, I never wanted to be anything else other than me, because I like seeing what we look like,
Yeah, diversity.
It was, there's all those characters that you see in our neighborhoods. I liked it though. I grew up around it. We had a tough life, but I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it.
But you know what? Black folk are some of the most tenacious people that I know.
Exactly. We are. And I specifically did not say African American.
I know, and I was going to get there. Why not?
Oh, because I'm not, if you look at it, okay, we're all from an African descent, but most Black people in America, we've been here for so many generations, we're just Black Americans,
Now, okay, I always consider myself an African American, and the reason being is because I know that my descendants are from there, and I actually had that little test done, and I'm proud to say that I'm 43% Nigerian. No, I'm like really stoked on that. I went out and I bought, or Honey Bunny bought me a Nigerian shirt, and I just love the African culture. So for me, when I say African American,
right,
I'm just claiming where my people are from.
I understand that. And I'm not claiming them. They are, our African heritage, it is what it is. But here in America, we're Black, and we are a
Right.
different culture, and we're a different style, a different people, a different understanding. Everything about us is different. Everything about us is different. I've been to Africa. We're different.
Yes, we are, and we don't think the same.
But the entire world looks at us. That's exactly right. But the entire world copies who we are
as Black Americans or
Black Americans. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about us, Black Americans. The world copies us. You look at every culture, and you're gonna see something that they've copied from being Black American, female and male.
You know what's funny? Like, I look at a lot of Nollywood, right? Like, pretty much 95% of what I look at on Netflix is Nollywood. And I noticed that the African women are wearing the weaves and the wigs and are becoming more westernized.
Yeah. Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts, I'm gonna start with us first.
Okay.
It's okay. To some extremes, it kind of bothers just me personally. I'm thinking,
why?
Beautiful as we are, we don't have to go to those lengths of all these long hair. Now, I love it. I like the way it looks. So don't get
okay.
me wrong.
Okay. Have you ever run your hands through it?
Yes.
How did it feel?
It felt real.
Did it? Okay. Well, most of it is.
Look, I've pulled it. I've done it all with it. So
it didn't come off?
Depends on how hard you're pulling it. Yeah, let's stop it right there. Because if it's done right, most time you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know if it was a weave or a wig or whatever. And
a lace front now.
I don't understand the terminology, so I have to be careful.
Okay.
I'll say it and it'd be something completely different. I love
Okay.
the looks of our Black women all day long. I love everything about
I
them.
just think Black women are beautiful.
Oh, everything about them. I love the
Just
way they look, talk,
yes, the shapes, the sizes, the colors.
everything, the attitudes too.
Yes.
But those two,
Okay.
it comes with
Let's
it.
talk about attitude. And I know we're going to get to your invention, okay, because that's big. You're the $600 million man. You're like the money man, right? So let's talk about this. White women, do you feel like they try to emulate Black women?
They try to imitate Black women.
Okay. What's the difference? And maybe I need my
Well, I think
dictionary.
they can't emulate us because that would be a deeper thing.
Okay.
If my understanding would be, they will imitate us. I mean, even now you see they pay for a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Physically, when I say they pay for it, you
Right.
see these white girls, you're like, dang, wow, you know, the waist
Right.
is small, butts, breasts, everything. They're shaped that way. So
Now, do you think that all of them pay for it? And I'm not
oh,
trying to
no,
make this like
it's,
a race thing, but I think there's something in the food where,
it has changed. It has changed.
yeah,
I think that's from, if you think about if you look at the ingredients that is in European food and the ingredients that's in American food, there's a lot of steroids or growth hormones, maybe not steroids. So that could be inaccurate, but growth hormones and all types of additives. When I was growing up, girls weren't fully figured like that, and boys weren't looking like grown men. You see them now.
right,
It's never an excuse to look at a young child and
right.
think that way. But as men, as women, we're supposed to be attracted to the opposite sex anyway. But you see, it is in the food, it is in how they eat and what they eat. It has a profound effect on their bodies.
Okay. I agree. I totally agree. But back to the Black experience, right?
Right.
I I couldn't trade it for nothing, even though I've had many hardships, as we all have.
Right.
It's nothing that I would trade in the world. Now, regarding hardships, what are some that you faced being a Black man in America?
I guess the main thing is being taken seriously or um, given the same opportunity as if I was white.
Okay.
I have an idea, or because I am a designer and I'll do jobs, someone else always gets the credit. Someone else always gets the credit.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I work for someone, so they're going to get the credit for it. It's a
Okay.
team effort. It's not a team effort. I'm the designer.
Got you. I
Yeah.
get that. I get that. I would be pretty pissed.
It's a nice team effort, and we work as a team. And I'm thinking, nope,
Really?
nope, it wasn't a team effort. That was my design. But I do understand if you work for somebody, then the work you do is for them, and it's for a
Right.
cause. So I'm not naive about the process of working for someone.
Okay.
You do that for them. The other hardship is the funding.
Okay.
It's always difficult to get funding, to have someone willing to invest in you. They don't want to. They want to know, well, how much have you sold? What have you done? And then even if they like the idea, for them, they want to take control of it. They don't think that you're smart enough to handle it yourself.
Right.
Or even listen to you. If they do, they're going to take those ideas and they're going to use them the way they want to.
Got you. So I want to talk about attitude because you talked about a Black woman's attitude, and I'm gonna come back to that, right? But I want to talk about. You said you love it. You said you love it, so it's a good thing.
Deal with it. I'm not weak. I can deal with it.
Right. So tell us about your design and what you invented. I know you invented lots of things.
Okay. I wanted, if I can, go from a different place though.
Okay.
I don't really want to call myself an inventor as I want to call myself a thinker.
Okay.
But inventor would be correct. It's just because I kind of push a different way for us. If you think about us as Black people, we've always created things. We've always thought about things. We had to. We didn't get
Right.
the best. We had to make our own things. If you think about when we were slaves, we didn't have combs and stuff. We had to carve it out of wood or whatever we could.
Yes.
Just whatever we could use. So my invention or my project was, I was in, I think, Buffalo Wild Wings or something, and
Okay.
it's a sports bar, so you're sitting there and the sports everywhere and beer bottles all across everywhere, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and I was like, it's a sports bar and all these bottles, and nothing looks like it's sports related. So I asked my waitress for a tissue. I started some sketches and came up with a design. And from that design in 2013, almost 2014, I got several patents on them, and I've been pushing them ever since. And that's where it came from.
I have to say that your designs are so dope and so unique. And for someone not to invest in them, they would be a fool.
It's most of the people that I have run into, and the unfortunate thing is it's always in the it's not with the Black population. It's not with the people I want to be invested in it. They get it immediately. They're like, and this doesn't exist? No. And this was your idea? Yes. And who helped you? Nobody. So
Right.
and they get it immediately. The couple times I've dealt with, and I have to say this because I want to break that thing that we do to each other. The times I've dealt with Black people that could help me,
Yes.
they were skeptical. They did not want to invest. If it wasn't something that was already created, or me opening up a store or a restaurant or something like that, they just did not want to invest. And that's a shame, because it's the new things, it's new thinking that's going
Right.
to wealth, not the same thing that's already there. You got to explore and come up with something new, something creative. And that's who we are as Black people. We are creative.
Why don't you think that we invest in each other? We will spend money with other cultures all day long. But when it comes to us investing in one another, which also keeps the economy going, why do you think we don't do that?
I think it's because we were trained to not trust each other. And thinking that we had to go to this outside source to get it. And that's the problem. We always think we have to go to an outside source to get what we need instead of investing in each other. It doesn't make sense. It's something that we could break at any time.
Do you think so?
Oh, of course. Now, you think about some of the absolute richest Black people that we have. If they were to turn some of their investments into us as Black people, our community, this nation inside of a nation, and I'm not saying that to overthrow the government or nothing crazy.
Right.
And this is our home, and we make it what it is. But if we were to invest in ourselves, we could be so much more powerful, and then help lead this nation, this world, in the way it should be, because our creativity is what's needed.
I wish we could have another Black Wall Street.
We could. It's just a matter of the right people getting together to do it. I saw a show on PBS where it was Firestone, Goodyear, maybe the Dodge brothers, and some other influential people at the time. They would have a retreat
Okay.
And for about 2 or 3 weeks and decide what they were going to do that was going to change the world.
Nice.
I want to call that out. I want us to get together and do it. I want to find all those creative Black people who got something that they want to do, and let's make it happen. It's just a matter of getting together, talking, and seeing what our resources are and putting them together and doing it. It's so much money to be made. The point where you start deciding, oh, I want to make it for myself, that's where you've already lost.
But you know what? I think because we have such a crab in a barrel mindset. No, seriously, it's a mindset that we are afraid if the next person eats, like we're not going to eat. And I say, if we can all back one person, right? We'll make that person a millionaire, and then we go to the next person, and then the next. But we don't think like that as a culture.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I really want to. If I could change one thing, it would be that.
Okay.
Because
how?
I want everybody to.
I mean, we all do. I want everybody to eat, but everybody don't want you to eat.
Right.
That's the thing right there.
That still wouldn't stop me. It still would not change what we need to do. And you're going to run into obstacles all the time. There's always going to be someone who's not going to believe, or someone who wants to change what you're trying to do. You just go past them. If enough of you are doing what the intent is to build everybody up, it'll grow. But the first thing we have to do is start having conversations. We got to start meeting. I don't know where our Black leaders are.
Let me tell you, if you ain't giving it to the Black preacher, then you shouldn't be giving it. I'm just saying, that's us culturally.
But we are not. That's the problem. That's a mistake right there. It's not.
It's the truth, though.
It's not the Black preachers that are supposed to bring us all up. Now, they're supposed to introduce us to who the true God is.
Mm-hmm.
We all have that relationship. We go from there. But they are not the speakers for us as a culture, as a society, as a people. It's business people. It's
Carlton. They have been. They have been. And that's where everyone's money is going. If it ain't going to the preacher, it's going to the restaurant.
Yep.
It ain't going to you for your invention. It ain't going to me for books. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit. You may have a little bit more insight, but preachers do have us. Now I'm talking about preachers that are sincere.
Okay.
And
how many?
Let's think of it kind of simple.
How many you know?
All the ones that I listen to would, because I would.
Okay, no, go ahead.
No, it's okay. But let's kind of break it down a little bit. If you have someone, and I have to talk about someone who's really sincere about this message that they're giving everybody. And this is what he does. He studies, he prays, and he spends his time in front of the Lord to try to make people understand how we're supposed to treat each other, white, Black, green, whatever. Because now we're transcending color.
Right.
Okay, so we're not talking color now. We're not talking about us as
that's fine.
So if this preacher if this is his job, and he's not working at Nationwide selling insurance or anything else, then he's really teaching, he's really doing, then of course there's going to be a blessing that goes with that. So
true, but can you go ask him to invest and he's going to pull out his checkbook?
No,
because I know Black folk that done paid their tithes, right? And then they lights about to get cut off, and then the church say, no, you need to go to Lahit.
That's true. I can't speak about that because now you're dealing with people and they're going to do what they do and they're going to be wrong.
But the thing is, can you go to those preachers that you listen to and be like, hey, I have a $600 million invention and I need you to cut me a check today?
I did it.
And they give you some money?
No.
Told you.
No, I'm being serious now. We got to talk the truth. And the truth was, I did that because I needed the help. And that was back when, I was paying for everything myself. I'm like, just like everybody else, I said, okay, well, all right, the mortgage payment's going to be late because I got to push this forward. So, and I asked for help. And no, I did not get it. And it's okay. It's okay.
It's really not okay.
It is when I look back to where I am now.
Okay.
It's a purpose they were not involved and should not have been involved.
And
because
okay,
that are involved now. Oh, it's a whole different story.
I agree with purposes and all that kind of stuff. But my point was those who have the money to help you, including spiritual leaders, most likely are not going to cut the check. They'll take your check.
But they will not. I agree.
That's right.
That's exactly
That's right. And that's sad. And they should be the first partakers in some of these things besides the things that they're they're developing. Or
it would be nice if they were to help. They should be the first one to say, we're going to invest in you. We're going to invest into our people. I'm going to invest in you. They should be. But that's not an example that they give.
Especially if they see the project, they see the evaluation on the project, they see the physical project. To me, it only makes sense if you're a business person.
Well, you can be a business person and still be a preacher, a business person, a preacher, and still think, I got to get for me. That's still going to be behind everybody.
But they'll ask you to give money for a jet.
I don't deal with anybody who is asking.
Or a mansion, another mansion.
I have the ability to think and make decisions to be, if this person is not showing himself what I would consider, just me personally,
right,
worthy of whatever money I'm putting in, then go somewhere else, find somewhere to do that.
And I agree, but the point was, a lot of times as Black folk, we can't go to other Black people and say, hey, can you invest in my project?
That's exactly right.
And that's why a lot of us aren't eating. Go ahead.
I've been fortunate. For me, the people that have seen this got it immediately. And they've invested, and it has jumped, and everybody's gonna see real soon and know, who is that? What is that group? Right. And they're gonna know who we are. So you just have to keep going. You just have to keep going, because there's gonna be plenty of people that's gonna turn you down. I've had people,
and that's true, because who was that? Chuck E. Cheese, the guy who developed that, was turned down many times.
Right.
Because they laughed at him about this ball in his mouse, these balls in his mouth. And look at it, it's all over the world.
Like the mouse.
Yeah. Strange. Same thing with KFC, even though he stole the recipe from a Black woman.
Of course.
Yeah, it was her chicken recipe, but he got the credit and the fame from it. And she died poor.
That's right, but come on. The most time you have really good chicken at a restaurant or something, you want to be like, is somebody Black behind it? Is somebody Black?
Yeah, normally for me, I say Black or Mexican.
Black there cooking.
And I'm not racist or anything, but if a Black person or a Mexican is in a kitchen, I know most likely it's going to be good.
Exactly.
So you talked about Black women and attitudes, right? Because we was talking about the wigs and all that.
All right.
So what is it that you like about the Black woman's attitude?
What is it that I like about the Black woman's attitude? That she's not afraid.
Afraid of you, or afraid of what?
Afraid of life.
Yes, that's true.
Of the hardships of life. I don't need anyone to be afraid of me. I'm not someone that you should be afraid of.
Right. I just wanted to make it clear for the audience, not me.
Right. But that she's not afraid of life. She's not afraid of the hardships of speaking. It concerns me now that George Floyd and all these people who were killed, the voices that came out first. Now, when I say concerns me, it concerns me because why aren't we screaming too?
Okay.
Now, it goes back to acknowledge the fearlessness of our Black woman. It was a Black woman who was screaming, who was screaming the loudest.
You know, I think we were screaming the loudest because it's our sons and it's our daughters.
Right.
You know, and we don't want our other children and grandchildren to think it's okay.
Exactly. So then why weren't us as Black men standing right there screaming, oh no, you're not gonna kill us no more. You're not gonna kill my daughters. You're not gonna kill my wives. Because do not think as many the biggest problem is they're talking about Black men being shot.
Right.
But there are so many Black women that are being beat up, abused, killed, murdered, raped, everything, missing. They're not talking about that. That's not the biggest thing that the media is talking about. Now, I'm just talking about the media. They're pushing one side of the story, but they're not covering all of it.
Right.
There's a real problem with how many of our young Black women are mistreated, killed, murdered. They're beat up just like Black men. So
mistreated by police officers.
Yeah, the society. Okay. I'm talking about
society.
Our interior treatment of each other.
Okay. Oh, of course.
But
you know what? Black women are rising to the top.
Right.
In a lot of arenas as far as starting their own businesses, successful businesses.
Right.
Being CEOs of major corporations. So there's a little shift in society, but then there's still lacking in our society when
the inequality.
There's no justice.
Yeah, the inequality is still there. That hasn't changed. It's just a soundbite now.
I know, you know, as Black folk, right? We'll scream a little bit and then we go right back to normal.
Because I'm wondering, why are we not still protesting about everything that's going on? It's still happening. It didn't stop. And so
I know.
Everybody stopped protesting and went home. Okay, yeah, we had a little scream and holler. You know, if you look at what happened in Hong Kong, those people
I remember
were 1 million deep for what, a whole summer? They just were relentless. And they say as soon as they can go back out, they're gonna do it again. You remember they even at one point they said, America, this is how you protest. They were calling out everybody. So yeah. Why aren't we?
You know, I think we're just so compassionate and we're so forgiving.
Yeah.
And I read that in your bio too. And just sitting here, we are, but we've been taught to be that. You know, I've been posting about being humble, right? If we look at the true definition of humbleness, and I had to, and I don't want to say correct somebody, but I pointed it out to her today, is basically we're lower than. And I said, I'm gonna get it for you. I'm not using that terminology anymore because I'm not lower than anyone. You might be smarter than me in some areas, but I'm not lower than you. But that's what it says. I'm gonna let you know in one moment. I might have to put on my glasses real quick. Okay, my brother?
Do what you got.
Humble. Having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance, of low social, administrative, or political rank. And then as a verb, lower in dignity or importance.
Wow.
And what I said was, you know, we've been taught humility or being humble a lot of times in the church. And then I said, okay, was that the way of slave masters, to keep people in line, keep them docile, keep them from not bucking up?
because they use certain scriptures and certain things to brainwash and to get us to act a certain way and not revolt and not to fight. So
Exactly.
I think so. I have to.
Sl-
You're gonna make me have to think about that and read a little more.
Slaves, obey your masters.
Exactly, exactly. And
Yeah,
it was taken out of context of if they're gonna use it out of scripture. Everything was used to manipulate.
exactly. And you know what? Also, nice, what is it? I had to teach someone this. Nice and kind. Okay?
There's a
Nice
difference.
people, yeah, nice people finish last. A kind person is loving and giving out of the goodness of their heart. Kind people have good self esteem, and because they love themselves as much as they care about others, they expect to be treated with respect. Nice. Nice people are desperate for approval, so they're often mistreated or taken advantage of.
It's funny because I was talking to somebody and we kind of pushed those two together. I was like, nice and kind. I can be nice and open the door for a black woman that's walking by because I want to open the door and I want to look when she go by. I'm just being nice, but I really got a motive behind it. I'm trying to look at her. Kind would be you see someone and they're trying to get through that door and you get there first to make sure that they can get through. You help them get through. Not because you're trying to look at them or you're expecting anything, but because you want to help them. That's the difference between being kind and nice. Nice has an ulterior motive behind it.
Well, you know what? Nice to me is, I'll say kind first. I'm going to give you exactly what you give me. Okay? I'm compassionate. I'm loving.
Right.
I'm loyal. I'm a rider, but I'm going to give you what you give me. So if you give me your ass, I'm going to give you mine, right? That's kind to me. Now, nice to
That's
me
kind
is,
for you.
yeah, that's kind for me, right?
Okay.
So nice for me is I'm going to be this good person to you, even if you treat me like shit. That's nice because I'm looking for your approval. I have low self-esteem and I need you to still accept me the way I am. To
Right.
me, that's nice. And I'm not nice. I used to be nice,
Right.
but I'm not her.
Okay then.
I'm just saying.
No, I understand.
This is a teachable moment for everyone.
I understand that. You have to look at what's the real motive behind whatever that person, whatever they're doing. What's that real motive? And
Well,
I think
go ahead. I'm sorry.
it can always be because they're trying to feel whatever's missing in their own character or personality, or they want that acceptance, or
Right.
because they expect something later on. Well, if I do this now, later on, I can get
Right.
it. Or
Right.
it's just who they are. They just want other people to be as well as they are.
But you know what? We weren't taught how to be who we are. We were taught to be what everyone else wanted us to be.
Which goes back to, again, why even with all that oppression, with all that inequality, with all that terrible stuff on top of us, we still are this creative and this intelligent and this flexible and all those things that we are. We're still really all that, and everybody else watches us and tries to look like us, want to be like us, talk like us.
And that's true. But you know what? I think that we need to start sticking up for ourselves in so many different areas, personally and collectively. Like I have to go back to this nice and kind. So many people are in relationships where they're or kind to or nice to people who don't deserve their niceness.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we've been taught to settle in so many different areas of our lives and that it's okay.
Right. But it's not okay. it's that thing that you have to at some point break out of, that systemic inequality and what we've been taught, that humble thing, we have to be twice as good, twice as smart, everything. All those things that they wanted to keep us use our intelligence, use
Right.
creativity, use our strength, but not acknowledge it.
But everything that we are is a state of consciousness.
It is.
Yeah. And if we could shift the consciousness, then we could shift the total person, mind, body, spirit, and emotions.
But then you'd have to get everybody to agree. As long as we are also doing that thing saying, well, we'll just have to agree to disagree. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
I've broken that. You don't, not you personally, you don't have to agree with me, but you're going to respect me.
Well, that can definitely go with anything. But the minute you say, well, we're going to agree to disagree, then you're not together moving in the same direction.
And that's true.
Does not agree. And there are always ways of not agreeing. So I may not think the way that you think, but I can agree that if that's what you believe and choose, okay.
And that's true.
I'm not going to, I disagree. We're just going to have to disagree on this. You can't get anything settled if you will not agree. At some point,
and that's true.
Agree. You just have to agree on, I would not do it that way. I do not think that's the right way, but if this is where it's going to go and that's what you're going to do, okay, we'll work to see if it works. And if not, then.
Well, in a marriage, we can do that type of thing, right? But in business too. I said in business too.
Right. And that's where, as Black people, we got to first accept that we're far more intellectual and informed than the world wants everyone to think we are.
And that's where
informed. We know what's going on. We set the standards in so many things, but we're still giving it to someone else. We're giving it to everybody else to take credit for. If we could get together, which is why I keep saying, ooh, if I could just get people to sit down, let's sit down and come up with some plans. One of the things that someone said to me that it took me a while to realize what they said, it was the best compliment that I got. She said, you're very strategic and you always have a plan. I didn't even realize that about myself.
Nice.
And I thought about it. I was like, what? At first, it was just far too much for me to even understand. But I kept thinking about it. And I've always been like that because I just think about things. I'll read everything and pay attention to stuff. But some stuff is useless information, but that's kind of relative too, because you never know when something will come back to your mind. But if we could just, first of all, accept the place that we really are. We are not low or beneath. We really, it is now time. Let's look at it. We have a pandemic. We have an economy that is upside down. We have racism that has shown its face. The best thing about this last administration, we get to see it now. Everybody, it's out there in the open. And now it's our time to literally start leading.
Who are we going to lead?
First, we're going to lead ourselves.
Individually.
As a group, individually and as a group, because, our leaders are being told how to lead.
But they aren't leaders. Wait a minute. Okay. Did you see that movie on HBO with the Black Panthers? Did you see that yet?
have not seen it yet. I've been
Oh my
waiting
God, you need to see it.
It was my thing to watch this weekend. Some things I have to watch at certain times because I know it's going to immediately elicit an emotion from me. Now, I don't need to have to go up to CVS and get allergy medicine, and I'm mad at every white person in there.
Right. But it just shows,
pull my head together at the right time.
it just shows how there's always an enemy from within.
Oh, absolutely.
Always. And it's like, when can you really be free?
That's never going to be something that we don't deal with. We're always going to deal with petty envy and jealousy and things like this. But if we could get past that as a group, again, I keep going back to this thing of our leaders. The leaders that we have, they weren't chosen by us. But they have been kind of pushed in how they can lead. We had leaders who were pastors and preachers and all that, and they were extorting larger companies. Well, if you don't pay me a certain amount of money to my foundation, then we're going to boycott. That's not getting anything. That's self-serving. That's not.
Most of our leaders become self-serving. What do you think about Farrakhan?
What do I think about Farrakhan?
Yes.
I think he had a voice that people were afraid of hearing. He said things that a lot of people agreed with. They didn't want to say they agreed with it. And I'm just talking about us as Black people now.
Okay.
And if he had maybe spent a little bit more time surveying how that was going out, because the mistake was we are still a minority in this country, this nation. And if you don't know how to play that game and to speak the right way, to make those moves and to slowly grow, if you come right out and you're looking at your enemy and you tell him, I know who you are, I know what you're doing, you're my enemy, and you're a devil, and
okay, so he said all that, right? Malcolm X was murdered.
Right.
Martin Luther King was murdered. JFK was murdered. Why hasn't Farrakhan been murdered yet, in your opinion?
That type of silencing of people who were speaking was no longer effective.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's no longer effective if you just murder somebody now. If you assassinate somebody now, it won't go. You won't get away with it. It won't go. It won't just be covered up. It could be that he took a different look on what he was saying for a different reason. It could be that maybe
George Floyd was covered up. Breonna Taylor was covered up. Them people ain't in jail. I mean, we know they got murdered by these people. We saw it like in broad daylight with Floyd, but there still has been no justice.
No, it won't. But what I'm saying is that type of assassination, it's trends of stuff that goes on. They have different ways of shutting things down now. Whereas we can't, if we go in a bank and we say we want a loan, they just can't say, well, sorry, we don't give niggas loans. They can't say that.
Right.
But there are systems in place that'll stop.
Somebody put the emoji like,
okay. What? I can't
what
say
you
that.
said, we don't give niggas loans. You can say what you want on my platform.
We know that's the case. They just can't say it anymore.
Right.
They learned there are other systems to do the exact same thing without ever having to say it. It hasn't gone away. It has not changed. It's just got a different look on it. It's just coded differently.
Some people.
Ask me why Farrakhan. I have other reasons that I may think, but
but you won't say them today.
I'll say it, and I don't.
Okay.
I have no truth behind it, but just thinking about it, there's a lot of reasons maybe he doesn't speak anymore.
Okay. Interesting. So we're wrapping up. Not yet. You spoke about your love of women. You know, you might hold the door so you can look at an ass or something.
Did I say that?
You did say that. Is there a special lady in your life?
Is there? Was that
Is there? I don't know.
No, I didn't hear.
Is there a special lady
Yes.
in your life? Nice.
Yes.
I think that's beautiful.
Right. I think for most of us as Black men, we're as strong as we can be with that.
And you know what's wonderful?
I'm with that.
I was in a clubhouse on yesterday, and the lady who was speaking was saying that men are stronger with a great woman by their side. You know, even if he's a multimillionaire, he becomes even better when he has someone with him.
Right. She's not part of this business that I have.
But she's your comfort.
Right. And she has her own thing. She's just as phenomenal as she's a match for me. So it's not a problem, but that's not what I would want her for. I don't want her in business with me like that, because I have a different mindset of how I'm gonna do this, and that can be a conflict that we don't have to have. The biggest thing about it is, and it's not this is mine and this is yours.
Right.
It's not that kind of story.
I just think it's wonderful when, especially Black men, has someone by their side that they can really connect with and be comfortable with,
right,
in who they are. You know, taking off all the layers and the facades that, you know, people have to put on at work and out and about, but at home, that person is your piece. And I think that's beautiful.
Right.
So, look at you blushing.
No, not really. Not really. We've been
Not really?
Yeah, we've been here for a while, so you know.
Okay, so anyway, tell people how to connect with you then.
Whoa, okay. That's an interesting question. I wasn't prepared for that. I think they should connect with me via email.
Okay.
My email address is IPCD. That's I is in the internet, P is in Paul, C is in Carlton, D is in design, consultant @gmail.com. So we need to talk. We need to talk. We need to start our own entity that propels other creative minds and other people who have ideas. We need to bring our funds together, because it's always about money. So don't think that this is not going to be about money. I'm not telling you to give me money, but we need to come together and bring our thoughts. I've done the process. I know how to get these things to a certain place, and we need to start doing it. Where are all the Black people that are so creative, that have done so many things, and they keep taking it to other people and they're not getting anywhere? It's time for there to be a business or a group or entity that can take you there. That's what I'm building.
I think that's wonderful. I know that it would be very successful. It's just getting your tribe, and hopefully part of your tribe will connect from today.
Yes.
Or Father, because they see the value in what you're trying to accomplish as a Black man and for Black people. Maybe you're the next him. The next Messiah type person.
No, but I'm not.
No, like Farrakhan, you know, he had his time, and now maybe it's Carlton's time.
Right. I would not put myself on that level. I'm not afraid to speak, though. I'm just not.
I didn't say you were afraid to speak, but maybe, you know, you're the one to speak for everybody. Maybe you're the voice of the people.
You know, with all the political voices and everything you hear, and I was thinking one time, I was like, I never see anyone that looks like me, that thinks like me, that has gone through the things I do, talking to these leaders about Black people, who we are and what we need. I would
You
love
know
to
what's weird? I haven't heard much about Kamala since she's been in office. Have you?
no.
I'm like, what is she doing? Like, I want to see more of her.
Really? Are you're not like surprised, are you?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, I haven't even seen much of Biden. I hear about Trump more in January 6th.
We got to give her a little time to kind of to settle into what her role is going to be. You do have to consider that.
I just want to see her on the news. Just walk by.
Well, you know what? The wonderful thing about this is, as smart as she is, oh, she has plenty to say, and she's involved, and she's
Oh,
gonna
I
be.
love her.
By the time it's all over, she's gonna be even more involved. I think you let her get seasoned in for a year, then
Okay.
you hear about the things that she's doing and what she wants to happen. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm.
Okay. Well, again, I want to thank you for gracing me with your presence on my stage.
Thank you.
I know you're going to be very, very successful, as you already are, but even more successful. Like that's a no-brainer.
Thank you.
You know.
And it was actually painless. It was.
Well, yes, I wanted it to be painless because I didn't want an inbox message or a text or something telling me that I meant to embarrass you. Yes.
We have 3 minutes. Okay. In those 3 minutes, what's the one question you want to ask? Get it out. Like I said, I'm not afraid to speak. So if there's a question that you really just wanted to ask for the audience and for people, why would they even listen or even consider anything I've said? What would it be? What's the really question you want to ask?
Why should people hire you?
Why should they hire me?
Why should they hire you?
Because I don't want to propel myself. I'm not looking for power. I don't need power. I want to propel all of us. There's no reason that we cannot all make as much money and be as successful, and that's relative, and be as creative as we want to be. Now is the time for us as Black men and women. We should be leading everywhere, globally. Too much has happened. We have to speak now. Now it's time for us to make some changes in the world. It's just time. No one's saying it. Seems like people are afraid to say, okay, everybody's looking for a certain person and a certain look for the answers. They don't have the answers. We've been rolling these answers around and living in our communities and dealing with things like this on smaller scales within our communities, racism and injustice, and how you get around it, how you make the best out of situations. We have some answers for that. They need to find out. So,
if you are interested in hiring Mr. Carlton Giles, who's phenomenal at what he does, you need to reach out to him at ipcdconsultant@gmail.com.
Correct.
All right. So I want to thank you once again for gracing me with your presence and for a great conversation. And yes, I wasn't going to be too bad on you, and I thought about it, and I didn't want to get beat up after, so that's why I was a little nicer and more gracious than normal, because I know you have a hell of a lot to lose.
Thank you.
So I was conscious of that going in and trying to prepare myself mentally at how to not be as authentic as I normally can be.
I would like to, if you would allow it, and I know this last thing.
It's okay.
After some milestones have been reached, let's come back and let's talk again.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And don't go anywhere. I'm just going to remove you off the screen while I do my little spiel. Thank you.
All righty.
All right. So everyone, thank you for tuning in with Mr. Carlton Giles and myself. Again, he's a Black inventor. He's so phenomenal at what he does. If you like my lipstick, it is called Society Hill from the Rich Bitch Lux collection. Yes, coming soon, honey, coming soon. And if you are a woman who wants a man, I am getting ready to do a virtual tour, 134 Reasons You Can't Find a Man. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. As usual, you all are phenomenal. Don't forget to live outside of the cocoon and make sure that you flap your wings. Have a great weekend, everybody, and be blessed.